thing I want to write down. March 9th.
Want me to sing something or whatever?
No.
I know, because it's over here. Like I did it before.
That makes sense.
At the bottom, the last verse.
And you just
When you want to
throw some
bring up
music
some
on or whatever. it is.
Mhm.
After this.
No, over there.
When in all the service you doing it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Last week we were doing after this.
The prayer request.
After the prayer.
Prayer request.
Okay. Right. I know.
doors are fastened and the windows pinned. Keep your hand on that plow. Hold on.
Good morning and welcome to Unity in Harlem. We welcome all our members all our members that's present today and all of those online. We do apologize for a little delay today. The universe has its ways. In keeping in mind of our worship service for this week, we will be focused and our Black History Month, we will focus on the art of year 406, What Happens. Our presenter today will be Reverend LeRoy Whethers in presentation. Today, our daily word is world peace. Our affirmation is, I hold a vision of a peaceful world. Next on our program today, we're going to have a wonderful song, Your Spirit by Marie Ponte. Then following a Unity in Harlem affirmation by Bob Ponte, and then preparing for meditation, my dedication. And I will follow up with a meditation. We hear us as we follow.
Yeah, so sometimes when we have situations in our lives, it's just a wonderful thing to just trust in the spirit to unravel what's going on, or to just be there for us, whether it's in nature or in our thoughts or in our hearts. And I just love this song. It's called Your Spirit, as Kwesi Thomas just said to us. So it's in your program. Let's sing it together, or if you'd like to listen, you can do that, whichever one you'd like to do. Just breathe and let it come into you. Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God, send your spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God, send your spirit, God. You are the fire, we are the temple. You are the voice, we are your song. You are our God, we are your people. You are the light, we stand in awe. We stand in awe of you. We stand in awe of you. Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God, send your spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God, send your spirit, God. called us out of the darkness, into your love, into your light. Grace upon grace, beauty for ashes. Will you come to us? We come alive. We stand in awe of you. We stand in awe of you. Not by might, not by power, by your Spirit, God, send your Spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your Spirit, God, send your Spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, send your Spirit, God. Send your Spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your Spirit, God. Send your Spirit, God. Breathe, come and breathe on us. Spirit, breathe. Come and breathe on us. Breathe, breathe on us. Breathe, breathe on us. We stand in awe of you. We stand in awe, in awe, in awe. We stand in awe, in awe, in awe, in awe of us, all of us, all is one.
Isaiah 55 verse 11 says, "So shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose, and shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it." Unity affirmations speak to the power of our words, and particularly the power of I am. And so we say this affirmation every Sunday to affirm our divine nature. The words are on the screen, and I invite you to say them with me. I am an abundant, radiating center of God's love and light for peace, healing, and inner truth for all.
I guess you saw me run into the frame. That was really cute. All right, great. Yeah, so now in preparation, we're doing the meditation, right? Okay, now in preparation for our meditation, let's sing this really beautiful song that speaks to, everything is exactly perfect exactly the way it is. And let's sing my dedication, for thy will be done. Here I am, Lord. Use me. Guide me. Fill me. Take me. Lead me by your will. Here I am, Lord. Ready. Ready to follow, to serve you, to love you. To follow, to serve you, to love you, to be you in this world. Thy will is done through me this day. 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 Lord, you call. Lord, you call. I answer. I answer. I'm open, I listen, I hear you. I'm open. I listen, I hear you. I feel you moving me. Lord, I come. Lord, I come closer. Closer. Humble, surrendered, lifted. Humbled. Surrendered, lifted. Committed to your plan. Thy will is done through me this day. Thy will is done through me this day. Thy will is done through me this day. Thy will is done. Speaking in the truth of me this day. Here I am, Lord. Lord, I come. Here I am, Lord. Lord, I come. Here I am, Lord. Lord, I come. And those, I believe those are the words of one of the prophets in the Old Testament. Here I am, you know, and sometimes maybe it's just that simple. Here I am. Use me. I'm open. I listen. I'm here for you. Do what you will in my life, and I will love you in my action. That's all, isn't it? So now I'd like to welcome Mr. Kwesi Thomas to the podium once again. Come on up here.
Good morning, beloveds. Let us find a comfortable position. Let us sit and close our eyes gently as we take and allow ourselves to go into a deep breath. Allow our lungs to be filled with the air and hold a moment as we slowly exhale, releasing any tension that's in our bodies. Continue to breathe deeply, feeling the rhythmic improvisation of your breath. Now begin to be aware of the present moments and let go everything that happened to you earlier today. Let go everything that worried you in the future. Let go all things that disrupt your morning. You're here at the right place, the perfect time, and the perfect place of peace. With every breath, imagine a gentle wave calming and flowing through your body. As your breath and as you breathe deeper, feel the peace of the entertainment of your heart. As your breath goes in and out, in and out, let go any stress, any noise, any distraction. Let the breath and your breathing wash all over you. Bring the stillness in your mind. Imagine yourself surrounded by a soft, warm, radiating light. The light that fills you with peace, fills you with stillness, radiates throughout the being of your body. It grows with every voice, expanding beyond you and filling the room with your energy. As you prepare to relax, allow the light, the warm light to hug your body. Allow the light to bring you to that soft place of peace, the place of calmness, your safe place. As your body gets weaker and sit heavier in your seat, I just want you to take a moment and be still. Concentrate on your breathing and let your heartbeat control the moment. As we sit in silence, go to your place. Know that peace is not something you need to search outside yourself. It lives within you, in the stillness of your heart and mind. Allow this deep sense of peace to fill you, ground you in this present moment. If every thought arise, acknowledge them, but gentle guide your focus back to your breathing. Each breathing, each breath is reminding of your inner peace, always available, no matter the circumstances around you. As you continue to breathe, take this moment to repeat this affirmation, silence or aloud, however the universe allows you to say. I am peace. I am calm. I am whole. Once again, I am peace. I am calm. I am whole. Let these words of affirmation settle deep inside your being, with every breath. Feel every truth of word inside your piece. Just take a few more breaths. When you're ready, come back into your awareness. Know that the universe is with you. The Mother, Father, God embraces you. As you feel the gentleness or tingleness of your finger and toes stretch, and know you are taking peace into next week, and you are prepared for this journey. Ashe.
Thank you, Oren, for the light. Good morning to everyone. And good morning to our friends who are listening in virtually today. We can continue today with Unity in Harlem's focus on our expression of African American history. Our focus, however, has been on Africans themselves and their fierce defense of their homeland and of their people. And we have heard two wonderful presentations in regards to that up to this point, and we will hear the third today. The other day I was looking at Channel 13, and a woman was being interviewed. Her name was Tara Roberts. Perhaps you saw her or know of her. She was being interviewed because she had written a book titled Written in the Waters. And it was quite by accident that she came into this whole area that she wrote about. It happened to be about African American women who were divers. She had never heard of African women who were divers. This group of African women, African American women, were diving to find the relics of the vessels that brought Africans to America and sank, and losing those souls on that trip. It was very interesting, of course, to listen to her and her own discovery of this whole tale, more than a tale, more than the truth of what happened, and that there are people today working to find these vessels. And as she says herself, Miss Roberts, to say, I see you, I remember you. It reminded me of us going back to the 1600s, the 1700s, and the 1800s to say, we see you, we remember you, because we've had no opportunity to do that previously in our educational system and otherwise, unless we did it on our own. So certainly this is a book I think we'd all want to take a look at, and also the work of these African American women who are divers looking for these vessels to prove how many, number one, and how many lost their lives in this transatlantic slave trade. Today we are privileged to hear of another warrior in Africa who fought for his people and his homeland, that no more would the men and women be taken as slaves. I want to welcome Reverend LeRoy Whethers as he shares with us the life of this gentleman.
Thank you so much, Carol. Quasi, thank you. That was excellent. And Marie, you just do your thing every Sunday. Okay. Before I forget, I just want to segue off of what Carol was sharing. There's a group now called Diving for a Purpose. I'm in a scuba diving club. And there's a group called Diving for a Purpose. And what they're doing is exactly what that group is doing in Africa. Trying to find relics from ships that our ancestors came over with. I had a chance to speak to the leader of that. Now, it's Diving for a Purpose. You can Google that in. I had a chance to speak to the coordinator, and he's educating young black males and females, young kids, around scuba diving and how to map out the area. So I asked him, I said, you know, when you went down there, did you see the chains and all that? He said, yeah. He said, yes. The issue that they're having is retrieving it and bringing it back up because it has something to do with state rights or whatever it may be, you know, but they were able to bring up the stuff from the titanium, though. That wasn't a problem. But in any event, just to segue off of what Carol was saying, which we need to know. We need hard facts, and that's what that does. Okay, I said that. Now, what I want to do today, quite naturally, one of the things I learned during my ministerial journey is paying homage to our ancestors. So I'm going to start today off with paying homage to our ancestors, to call them up, because we're certainly going to need them in this struggle. There's no getting around it. And we've moved away, as far as I'm concerned, about paying respect to our ancestors. I could remember when I was younger, and probably some of you folks can remember, I could walk into my grandmother's house, there's pictures of everybody. Folks everywhere, you know? And I didn't pay attention to that until now, you know? Where I've fallen short, picked back up in terms of paying homage, respect, thanking them for what they've done for us. So right now, what happens normally, I'm gonna abbreviate it. Normally what happens is take time out and you ask the ancestors, we would like to pay respect to you, awaken your spirits, and also to pay respect to thank you for all that you've done, all that you've done for us, for the world, in making it a better place. Normally what you do is you pour the water in a plant or something like that to give it life, but in this case, I'm gonna pour it right in this cup. I'll do it like that. Again, Ashanti, we call you here today in our service and we asked permission to speak on one of our ancestors that was a warrior during your time and has made accomplishments for the progress not only of the African community, but of the world community, Ashe. And with that being said, we welcome you to our service today. Ashe. One other thing I'm going to do other than characterize Toure, at the end, I'm going to speak about, first of all, I'm going to pay homage to the ancestors and let them relax, send them back to the spiritual world. But also I'm going to speak about spiritual warriors. You know, we got some of them up in here right now. But in any event, we can begin the program, Bob. Bob is setting up to show us a video.
During this time, Toure became the Al-Mami, or the religious leader of his empire. Islam was the dominant religion of Toure's empire. Toure would be the founder of the Wassoulou Empire, which is also referred to as the Mandinka or Malinke Empire. The Wassoulou Empire was solidified around 1878, with Toure as its leader and founder. He was also gaining a name for himself by standing strong against European colonialism. The French declared war on Toure because he would not allow them to steal land and monopolize the trading of goods at the Kinyirin Market Center. The Wassoulou and the French were at war from 1882 to 1885. The warring led to the signing of peace treaties between the French and the Wassoulou in 1886 and 1887. The Berlin Conference occurred in 1884. Which basically was Europe dividing Africa between the countries and taking the land. As expected, the French did not honor the peace treaty, and the Wassoulou waged war against the French in 1888 to defend their lands. Because his army was able to deny the French, Toure and his army's reputation grew. The final peace treaty between the Wassoulou and the French was signed in 1889. In 1890, Toure was able to reinforce his army by obtaining arms from the British and implementing guerrilla warfare tactics to fight the French. Unfortunately, in 1891, the French was able to overpower Toure's army, forcing him to move his capital eastward to Dabakala, Côte d'Ivoire. Toure was able to rebuild his empire despite the advances from the French colonizers. His new capital city was Kong, and he was able to use the landscape along with the guerrilla tactics to fight off the relentless pursuit of the French forces. Toure's army was invaded by the French in 1898. During the invasion, Toure was captured and eventually forced into exile in Gabon. Toure would die 2 years into his exile in 1900 as the warrior king who fearlessly fought off French colonization. During the years of the transatlantic slave trade, African people were constantly being kidnapped and taken into slavery. Fortunately for Toure, when his mother was captured, she was not sold to the Europeans. This allowed the legend of Samori Toure to begin. He was able to hone his military skills and develop himself mentally as a leader. Toure is revered for his fortitude, strategy, leadership, loyalty, and victories. Even though the French were able to eventually overtake Toure, they were never able to kill his movement, his spirit, and his legendary status. The legendary warrior, Emperor Samori Toure, we proudly stand on your shoulders. For more information, please visit www.ontheshoulders1.com. And to learn more about our On the Shoulders of Giants nonprofit organization, visit www.ontheshoulders.org.
For the future generation of Africans.
From 1889 to 1898, we waged a guerrilla war against the French, retreating into the forests and the mountains, using the motherland
of Africa as our ally. But the French were relentless.
Samori Toure. The legendary warrior Samori Toure was born in 1830 in the village of Manyan Baladougou, located in the southeast region of Guinea. His father was a trader, so Toure also became a trader into the 1820s. West Africa was being influenced heavily by European culture due to colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade. In 1840, Toure's mother was kidnapped during a slave raid by King Samori Toure. To free his mother, Toure became a soldier in the king's army. During his time in the army, he developed himself into one of the best warriors in Guinea. After serving his time in King Birama's army, Toure left the army with his mother, then sought refuge with the Barete army for 2 years. He mastered firearms and improved his military skills by leading the Barete army into battle. Toure left the Barete army and reunited with his own people, the Malinke of Guinea, armed with an empowering vision to help his people. Using the military skills and education he gained over the years, Toure systematically organized his people and the surrounding kingdoms into a single army with a single focus. The goals of the Malinke were to protect themselves from rival tribes, Europeans, and expand their territory. Toure's army was legendary, a well-oiled machine consisting of over 65,000 men with the cavalry and infantry. Both the cavalry and the infantry were individually organized to function singularly and as a unit with the entire army. Toure would declare himself the monarch of the empire he was building. His territory expanded from as far north as the borders of Sierra Leone to Liberia in the south, from the Ivory Coast in the west to the Sudan in the east. It is said that Toure's empire reached its apex between 1830 and 1887. During this time, Toure became the al-Mami, or the religious leader of his empire. Islam was the dominant religion of Toure's empire. Toure would be the founder of the Wassoulou Empire, which is also referred to as the Mandinka or Malinke Empire. The Wassoulou Empire was solidified around 1878, with Toure as its leader and founder. He was also gaining a name for himself by standing strong against European colonialists. The French declared war on Toure because he would not allow them to steal land and monopolize the trading of goods at the Kenyiran market center. The Wassoulou and the French were at war from 1882 to 1885. The warring led to the signing of peace treaties between the French and the Wassoulou in 1886 and 1887. The Berlin Conference occurred in 1884, which basically was Europe dividing Africa between the countries and taking the land. As expected, the French did not honor the peace treaty, and the Wassoulou waged war against the French in 1888 to defend their lands. Because his army was able to deny the French, Toure and his army's reputation grew. The final peace treaty between the Wassoulou and the French was signed in 1889. In 1890, Toure was able to reinforce his army by obtaining arms from the British and implementing guerrilla warfare tactics to fight the French. Unfortunately, in 1891, the French was able to overpower Toure's army, forcing him to move his capital eastward to Dabakala, Côte d'Ivoire. Toure was able to rebuild his empire despite the advances from the French colonizers. His new capital city was Kong, and he was able to use the landscape along with the guerrilla tactics to fight off the relentless pursuit of the French forces. Toure's army was invaded by the French in 1898. During the invasion, Toure was captured and eventually forced into exile in Gabon. Toure would die 2 years later, consisting of over 65,000 men with the cavalry and infantry. Both the cavalry and the infantry were individually organized to function singularly and as a unit with the entire army.
Battle for the sake of their loved ones, the unloved, the marginalized, the defenseless, the downtrodden. I call men to take their assignment to be leaders of their home, of their community. I use the word soar as a symbol for engagement because too many men have advocated for responsibility to their families, friends, associates, and those who do not know Christ. There's folks that have abandoned their commitment. In the scriptures, it says, a warrior after God's heart is a citizen of God's kingdom. Philippians chapter 3, verse 20 to 21. A warrior after God's heart is a man of integrity. Psalms 15, verse 1 to 5. Now, I kind of ran around, and when I first came in here, I was asking people what they were doing because I kind of forgot. Bob said, what are you asking me that for? See, Bob is a warrior of information. He volunteers his time at a radio station to make sure that the community gets the right information and to hear from organizations that are doing positive things in the community. He informs us because he understands that we are being misinformed. So he's a spiritual warrior of communication. We have another warrior in here who's fighting hunger. This brother, what he does is he volunteers his time at soup shops to feed those individuals that have a problem about eating or getting food. He is fighting hunger. He's a warrior, a spiritual warrior of hunger. Thank you, warrior. Then we have another sister in here who's a spiritual warrior of the Native American Indians. She makes sure that this community and this world does not forget their traditions. She participates in different, I would say, Indian cultural dances to inform the world and to keep the Native American Indians' traditions alive. She's a spiritual warrior. We need to look at ourselves. One of the things that I do, or several things that I do, I'm on a committee that deals with massive incarceration. I'm fighting that, making people aware of what's going on in terms of the judicial system, in terms of massive incarceration when it comes to the black community. And there are people on this committee that don't look like me and out of concern. They're spiritual warriors. Another thing that I do is I teach English as a second language. Now, when I talk about these spiritual warriors, they're not getting paid. They're donating their time. They're putting their energy in to make things right. And teaching English as a second language, one of the things that we talked about, because we have the president talking very negative about immigrants. And we need to understand, folks forget, I think it was a law of, I forgot what year it was, 1924, where they limited European migration to this country. Italians had a problem getting in here for a while. The Jews had a problem getting here for a while. There was a situation, they were on a boat, they were leaving a country that kept them in exile. And America wouldn't accept them. They go on back. And I cite these because I feel that you understand when folks go through things, you can empathize with them. See, some folks forgot their history about how they got here. You see, they didn't just walk in. I ain't got to explain the history of how we got here, because we want to know that. We didn't voluntarily try to get here. But let's speak on the fact that we need to empathize and remember how difficult it was for folks to get into this country when we deal with these immigrants today. Now, one of the things, Trump has negative things to say about the immigrants. They're murderers, they're drug addicts, they're dealing drugs. So I have Mexican students. One of the things I explain to them is that you don't listen to what the president is saying, particularly when they say negative things about you. You're a human being, you're a child of God. And I had to say that several times for them to understand it, because they don't really understand the language. I said to them, don't let anybody's opinion of you be your reality. Don't let that happen. You're a child of God, and remind yourself. Now, Mexicans, tend to be very religious, so they understood that. And they picked that up well, you see. So, before I leave today, I'm an ancestor, the ancestors out, and I want you to look and examine yourself, because you might be a spiritual warrior and you don't even realize it when you're trying to make things correct, you see. And we need to listen to what's going on in the world. Listen to other people. We need to learn to listen and listen to learn. Simple, very simple. So with all that being said, you spiritual warriors that are here, you keep on doing what you're doing. Because here at Unity, we don't talk about it, we be about it. We have people in here that does the job that needs to be done. So just to let you know, we may be small in numbers to a certain degree, and I say to a certain degree, but Jesus was small in numbers. He didn't have about only 12 dudes that went out there and did their thing, and people listened, you see. So just to let you know, here at Unity, we got folks doing their thing in terms of communication, in terms of feeding the hungry, in terms of making people aware of the Native Americans' true traditions. We also have a warrior in our minister. And our minister, Carol, what she does is she gives free meditations at a senior citizen, at a residential area for seniors. She gives them hope. She shows that folks care. I would say she's a warrior of comfort, if I might. So with all that being said, what I'm going to do is kind of ancestor us way out and think about paying homage to your ancestors, because we're going to need them. If you look at the African-American history, they always called up the ancestors. And I'm quite sure that they did that with the Native American Indians. They called up the ancestors many times and asked for advice. Now, I need to say before I go, things come to you, came to me. I didn't have any idea I would talk about spiritual warriors. But for some reason, God asked me to acknowledge the spiritual warriors that are in this place now. And to let you know that the work that you're doing is not being done unnoticed. God knows. God knows. And you'll see the rewards as you go forward. With all that being said, I'm going to ancestor our ancestors out and let them rest. And Ashe, Ashe, the ancestors, thank you so much for allowing me to speak on your achievements for us. Ashe. May you rest in peace as we let you go back into the spiritual world as you leave us here. Ashe. Thank you so much. I bless everybody here, and those folks that are tuning in. Have a blessed day. Have a joyful, peaceful, healthy, and blessed day, and God bless you, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend LeRoy. Leave it the way it is. Thank you so much. Surely, Samori Toure displayed being a spiritual ancestor with the courage he showed in fighting as he did, and going as far as to creating an actual empire that he was the leader of. I read somewhere that he practiced being a Muslim. And so right there you have a sense of his spiritual orientation and what guided him and what he chose to do. And we want to thank Reverend LeRoy for hearkening back to that phrase that Miss Roberts said, I see you, I remember you. And not only him, but the others that we have talked about since this month began. And we do bless their spirits and their as our ancestors. And the defining of what a spiritual ancestor is and what they took on to do what they had to do, it had to have a spiritual undergirding to it. There was no way to do it without that. So thank you so much, and I think those who are at home, you can join with us as we give another applause to Reverend LeRoy. We're going to have our prayer request, our tithe, and our offering, and after that, Kwesi will come back with some announcements, and I will be doing some announcements again. I'll join him in that. So if we could have the prayer first, Orrin, prayer request first, and then we'll do the offering, okay? And so those of you who are listening from home or wherever, if you can take time now to join us in thinking of your ancestors. For we all have them. Not only those who have been awakened today and have been sent back to the spiritual world, but those in your own family and friends and teachers and the people who cross your mind that have had a great impact on you. And so we think of them now as we enter into this prayer time. We bless the spirit and lives of our ancestors and the impact they made at the time of their physical presence and right now, for their spirit is alive as we have called them forth to simply say thank you. Thank you for being who you are and who you were. Thank you for the memory that you have left. And we bless you as you continue your onward journey, your journey forward in life everlasting life. And as we draw from you the highest and best of what you left, we take those characteristics and we instill them within ourselves and use them as we too take on the steps of what we must do as warriors for the cause. We give thanks for the privilege of being the highest and best kind of warrior for the spiritual cause of sharing who we are as children of spirit. And being a part of a community that is like-minded. And being in a place where we can share the gifts that we have. We say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all of it. In the name of the Christ. And now we would want to think about the gift that we would give. What we give. As we give, so we receive. We give in appreciation, and we give easily and freely. Freely we have been given to, freely now we give. We give thanks for our own willingness to give to the support of unity in Harlem and for all those who give. We give thanks to you. We say thank you, thank you. We let these gifts from you nourish unity in Harlem, that we may be the best that we can be right where we are. And this prayer that we say every Sunday, I will say it now. The words are on the screen, and then we will say it together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Shall we know it together now? Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. So be it.
Unity in Harlem announcements. Unity in Harlem conducts meditation at Spirits every Thursday at noon. You can, and every Thursday evening at Morehouse at 3 p.m. Connect with us. You can dial in at 212-222-3470 for the link. Unity in Harlem Zoom connection is on phone at 698-428-2725 by phone, or you can zoom in at 929-222-5400. 205-1699, and the passcode is 7777. That's 7 sevens. Every Tuesday, Unity Harlem conducts our weekly study group. It's the Sermon on the Mount by Emily Fox. Guides to Success Living from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is a wonderful group. Please join us. Friday, Unity Harlem Prayer Circle for 1 hour. It's from 6 to 7 p.m. Release and let go in the comfort of prayers. Anyone would like to speak to the minister about a personal matter, please call and ring in at 646-481-1844. A special announcement we have on March 9th, Devlin Evans will be returning back to us to present on the Dumity Amazon women. She will be coming back and redoing it from last Sunday's message. She will be doing it again for us. On February 23rd, the Art of History 407, What Happens Leading in the Wind with Unity in Harlem. Also is Unity Harlem annual meeting at 12 from 12:30. Please join us visually or in person. We encourage you to please join us in person. Now we have a special announcement from Reverend Carol.
Thank you, Kwesi. Sunday, March 16th, the third Sunday, will be a special Sunday here at Unity in Harlem. We will have a special guest speaker. His name is Reverend Ogun Holder. And he will be speaking, and after the service, he will be holding a conversation with all of us, virtually as well as in person. I am sharing this with you because I want to encourage each of you to be in attendance, and especially I want to encourage those who are seeing us each Sunday virtually. We are expecting the week before to send you a list of questions about the service on the 16th that you will get an opportunity to send back to us that can be read during the conversation we will have with Reverend Holder. Those questions will be pivotal and very important to the search committee of Unity in Harlem. If you look, you'll be able to return your answer to these questions whether you are seeing us on Facebook or on YouTube. Each of you who are familiar with that, and if you do this every Sunday, you are familiar, there's a place for you to put your comments, and you can answer any of the questions that you wish to answer. I don't expect the questions to be more than about 5, and it may be less than that. So please keep this in mind. It is very important to the ongoing growth and development of this spiritual community. And obviously, you know I have a great interest in that. So please remember. And of course, those who are in the audience will be participating as well. And you may say to yourself, well, why is she making this announcement? And I would just say that the ones who were slated to make the announcement could not. One, because of being under the weather, and the other because of traveling. And so you got me. And but just ignore that, really. And remember the words that I've shared with you. Keep them in mind and participate with us. We need you. It's very important. And bless you. Marie will return now for our inspirational song.
I just want to remark on how beautiful you are looking, Reverend Carol Hunt, with your gorgeous indigo outfit. Wow, it just looks so like handmade and everything. Oh, we are just bringing it, aren't we? Yay. So I think now it's time for us to look again in our programs. We have this praise medley. So it's time for some praise. And this song is actually a favorite of Bob's mom. And she is one of our ancestors right now. So we're going to call her up too to sing and praise. She did much praising in her life, in her actions, in her words, in her encouragement, in her beauty. And I just want to just celebrate that right now. Everybody, let's sing. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. What she said every day of her life, probably, to us. Okay, so let's get some music going. Everybody stand up. Get your program. If you don't know it already, this is the day the Lord has made. Here we go. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. We will rejoice. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let's sing it again. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. We will rejoice. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has. I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. 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 I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice, for he has made. I will enter his gates. I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in his home. I will enter God's courts in praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. God has made me glad. I will rejoice, for God has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. I will rejoice. Come on. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. We will read. We will rejoice. We will rejoice. We will rejoice. We will rejoice. Come on, wave your hands. Rejoice, rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice. I will rejoice. Every day rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice. Yeah, hopefully you walk down the street sing that or some other song that makes you feel just as happy and joyful and excited about being alive in 2025. That's our theme this year, isn't it? Alive in be alive in 25. Yeah.
I do. So now we come to our prayer of protection, and then after that, the peace song. Together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right.
And now the peace song, everybody. Let's stand and sing. You can sing at home as well. Hopefully this is your prayer. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God as creator. Family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yay. Thank you so much for joining us and being with us today, everybody. All right, time to eat.